Well, hello everyone, it's Greg James from Greg James Fishing World. Although I sound happy, I'm a little sad, but I've got a little tip for you. The most important part of wrapping up your boat and your engine before the end of the trip is, oh my goodness, one left. Oh, I'm a lucky guy. Bon appetit, cheers and salute. Definitely a good beer. So, mucking around stopped. I'm now going to show you a couple of really quick little diary tips for wrapping up the final stages of your boat using the outboard motor. I've coiled my rope. Always carry plenty of rope in a boat. I've coiled it. It's all nice and ready to go next time. I've got my Ripper little outboard motor here. It's a 130 horsepower two-stroke. I won't go into the pros and cons of those all now, but when I store the boat and I'm going away for a week or two, I always leave this engine vertical. Why is that, you ask? Well, a couple of reasons. It's flushed, it's washed, it's everything else. But over time, the fuel will evaporate out of the carburetor and the cylinders, and you want the oil that the motor leaves behind, because it's a two-stroke, which means the oil's pre-mixed before it goes into the engine, to be consumed and burnt as a power unit, is you want that oil to stay in those cylinders as much as possible. So store it semi-vertical after you've washed it. You can tell I've looked after it. This is an 8-year-old engine. I keep all this area free of crap and sand and salt, and now I'll show you a little trick about keeping it even better while you're away. So you click the release, the tab, flick that back, got a little can of water repellent. I won't say which one it is because they're not paying me. And then basically, the idea here is to drown this little baby, literally drown it. If you're buying these second hand from a boat dealer or somewhere like that, pull the top off the engine, the housing, and have a look at all these cords here and see if there are any white flecks of, in actual fact, it'll be salt if the thing's been dunked. If the thing's been dunked in the water and the guy wants to get rid of it, you will find little flecks of salt all over this part of the engine. It's a little trick I learnt many years ago. I'm about to drown this in the water repellent, so you just give it a bit of a shake and you whack it in there. You don't have to be too fancy. The whole idea, get into those little nook and crannies, up around the cylinder heads, up around where the spark plugs go in, the power unit, the oil, the backup oil unit. So you get the tip, plenty of stuff in there to get it. Keep all the salt water. These things are out working in the salt water all the time. You want to keep that as far away as possible. They're complicated engines these days, the 4-strokes, the 2-strokes and whatever. One final tip before we knock off for the day and finish that lovely cold beer. When you're buying a second-hand motor, even a brand new motor, where the spark plugs go into the engine to deliver spark to ignite the fuel, check the paint that's been put on by the manufacturer. They do a great job no matter what make your engine is, and that's a standard colour. This is a grey that goes with the particular engine I have, the particular outboard. See if you can see any discolouring in that paint, and if that's a grey paint, that engine's been overheated, and that's what can happen. That colour will be lighter than it is. It's been cooked, in plain language. It's a really simple thing to do. This is a 4-cylinder engine, so you can check both sides of the motor and make sure that so it's a vertical line motor. It's the opposite way to what a car engine, most car engines are, and just check to see if there's any discoloration of that paint. And that will tell you if the thing's overheated or in actual fact been cooked fully and you're buying a dud. You don't want to spend your hard-earned on that. I certainly don't anyway. Anyway, everyone, I'm going back to that thing that I caught in the bottle a few days ago. Tight lines, and see you next time on Greg James Fishing World.